This guy, I haven't, to be fair, I know he's not from where we're at, so I mean, that's usually a dead giveaway. But I'm not that familiar with this guy's politics or social views. I don't really particularly care until they say something. But it's not surprising considering the industry that he's in. So I don't know if he's saying that because he's about to be on the chopping block or something's going on behind the scenes. But the actor who plays old Benedict Cumberbatch has a lot to say about what we deem as toxic masculinity, or what they deem as toxic masculinity, which is just masculinity for the most part. They say that, or he says, you need to shut up and listen. Let's listen to what, or rather, let's hear what he had to say. And this is what E! Online, they started off, said, Benedict Cumberbatch is the supportive king we all need. Did a woman write this? Yep, of course. So a woman writes this, and of course any man that presents something as basically him hating himself is going to be paraded around by some women. They love that shit. While promoting his latest film, Power of the Dog, the 45-year-old actor spoke about the film's theme of toxic masculinity and how it translates in real life. We need to fix the behavior of men. This is what he told Sky TV. I think in a world that's questioning and ripping into and finally pointing out the inadequacies of the status quo and the patriarchy. How many buzz terms did he use in that one sentence? Holy shit. You got inadequacies, status quo, and the patriarchy. It's more important because you get this sort of rebellion aspect from men today. This denial, this sort of childish defensive position of not all men are bad. It's like, no, we just have to shut up and listen. Okay, first of all, you don't deal with problems like that, okay? So when someone makes a rather vague or even incorrect, because you got to understand, it's like terms like racism. These terms don't mean anything coming from them, or rather they mean something completely different than what the term actually is defined. You know, dogs are barking. I'm getting someone's at the door. Sorry about that. But anyway, like, so it's not conducive to really solving any problem socially or culturally. Any event that you ignore what is deemed as what actually is taking place. So you look through it, as I always say, through a lens of what you want the world to be. This is why shut up and listen is a nonsensical term. And even people that use it on the other side is a nonsensical term. You know what I mean? Because what he is saying is that we have people that bring up the truth of the matter. Instead of bringing up the truth of the matter, to introduce that to the conversation. So if there is a solution to what, let's say the parts of this that may be objectively bad, not what they're referring to often, but let's say if there are aspects that are objectively bad, you cannot address that without having an honest conversation. But that's not what Benedict Cumberbatch is suggesting. He's saying you should just shut up and listen to what it is that they're saying. I think we're in an era where survivors can speak and have a platform and realize that there is not enough recognition of abuse. Okay, I don't disagree with them being able to talk about their abuses. Hell, a lot of it's happening in your industry. There's not enough recognition of disadvantages in that. Okay, see, now we're again. Remember, this is what I'm talking about. This toxic. These are nonsensical terms because now he goes on from abuses to now he's talking about disadvantages. Somewhere along the line, maybe not now. We need to do what the film does which is examine the reason behind the oppressive behavior to fix men. Yeah, there's a lot of beta sort of men that have been convinced that men are bad, even though we have an era right now that I would argue where it's not the lack of masculinity, true masculinity, it is that you need right now. It's more of it because it's starting to become non-existent, particularly with the issues of fathers not being in their children's lives. And you see a lot of those children come out thinking a certain way or come out acting a certain way and completely off the rails, because it's not like they had a man, and definitely with young boys turning to young men, they didn't have a father in a lot of cases to show them what it means to be one. And so you have a bunch of single mothers. I'd say this as a guy that was raised by a single mother, birthing and raising men, and they cannot possibly teach that boy to be a man, right? But a lot of what we think of as positive masculinity, and what a lot of women would agree that is some sort of positive masculinity, they look at that as some sort of negative. And that's where the true conflict, and where it gets more, if there is to be a complex aspect to it, that's where it is. I love the situation that I'm in, right? This masculinity is something that I obviously, I would say, of course, it's a positive thing, and I'm in a relationship that is a lot more traditional. And let these weirdos tell it. My wife's oppressed, right? Because I'm the breadwinner, right? My wife gets to stay at home, do what she does. She does stuff around the house, do all that. But she gets to. Well, it's a more old school sort of a relationship. I'm the one ripping and running. I'm the one, making sure food's on the table, as far as we got the money to do whatever it is that we want to do and what we need to be able to do. She lives a lovely life, right? She don't have to worry about working, none of that. I mean, she has her little craft shop and all of that. But in the event that she wants to take time off from that, what she's doing right now, because she just had like this pop-up shop, she gets to do that. Right? And she's living a great life and will never go without. Not as long as I got something to say about it. Right? And I do what is expected of me, certainly as a man. And, this kind of gets amplified in the event that we bring children into this world. Now, let these crackheads tell it. She's being oppressed because of that. That's fucking nonsense. Right? But Benedict Cumberbatch is saying to me, what you expect from that industry, right? A lot of them guys are telling on themselves, and maybe they ooze something that is, and they're trying to get ahead of it, right? This is what I often, my ears perk up when I hear people going to talk about this topic. Like, what you hiding, bro? What are you hiding? But on a serious note, the fact that he is just simply saying, okay, you don't need to say anything. You just shut up and listen to what it is that they have to say, be it in their demands or what they're conflating as some sort of problem. That is not conducive, again, for actually solving anything. You just watched a clip from my podcast, For Canon's Sake. Catch us live at 12 p.m. throughout the week over at youtube.com/YoungRipper59 and follow us over at odyssey.com/@YoungRipper59. If you want to watch the entire video cast after the show is over, just be sure to become a member on the YouTube channel. Of course, the full audio portion of the podcast is available for free on all major digital platforms, or just visit forcanonsake.com.